All right, hello there, folks. Ryan here from Precision Trading Labs. What I want to do today is market's been pretty volatile. Okay, some of that is the time of the year, a bunch of different factors. So what I wanted to do is share a recent trade among this volatility. This is a winning trade, but there's a certain tactical element that I think will give you guys a potential. Oh, you know what? I forgot. Let me start with the disclaimer, and I will. Sorry about that. Let me bring that over into focus. And I'll keep talking while that's up here. Okay, so here's our disclaimer for your protection and ours. Oops, there we go. So why that's up there? Let me explain. Given the market volatility, it's the end of the year. The market will get volatile because of that. Tax law, a lot of different reasons, right? But either way, the market's volatile. But there was a tactical element of this particular trade on, and it's it's a boring stock, Walmart. Nothing special, right? But the market did go into some pretty bad red days in the indexes and bringing down some stocks. Retail Christmas time, but one of the trades we gave out and analyzed, I believe, on a recent session. Here's the before. I call it the before picture. So I always, whenever I share something, I try and always have the before picture of what it looked like when we were doing the analysis, right? So Mitch had identified this demand zone on Walmart on, I believe this is a 2 hour chart. 2 hour. Yeah, he uses the 130 2 hour chart. Okay. I'll explain that another day why he uses and I'm sure in other videos he's explained it, right? So that was an area of bullish price pressure, right? Where price came up, right? And then the volatility that we had changed the trade trajectory a little bit. And there was a tactical element where instead of just pushing the button to get in or leaving the order there, once we started to get that red day in the indexes, right? No, that's the option. Hold on one second. Let me come over here. Mitch sent a note to our subscribers to use a confirmation entry. What is a confirmation entry, you may ask? Okay, so and these are disregard the options. This is really for our students, but since it's all marked up, our students already know what they're doing, and our members they been through our training and our Q&A sessions and all that kind of stuff. So disregard if you don't understand certain elements of what's going on in the chart. But you'll see his note there of using a confirmation entry and then announces it to the community. Well, price, basically, you notice that little gap there. Price opens there, right? And then shoots down pretty quickly. Okay. Now, some of you might say, well, if you have faith in your strategy, pull the trigger or leave the order there. Absolutely can. And I don't think you've done anything wrong doing that. But when you're getting that way, if you're a little bit, gun shy, whatever word you want to use, of a little bit cautious, in my case, I like to think of myself, right? So price comes in here, kind of hangs out there, right? Didn't notice the red stopped, right inside this vicinity here where I'm moving my mouse. Okay, so price comes in, hangs out. We do start to get a green candle. When that green candle starts to form, it's starting to look like, can this recover? Potentially. So Mitch did taught our subscribers a confirmation entry. What is a confirmation entry? Okay, confirmation entry is you wait for price to basically start going in your direction before getting in there. Now, there is a potential drawback to that. I don't want to get into every detail of that. If you want to know more information about how to use the confirmation entry and all that kind of stuff, either post a comment below or I will put my calendar somewhere below this video. Just look down here and you'll see it. And if not, look in the description. Okay. So in this case, we use a confirmation entry. Basically, when it exits that area, then you have permission to get it. In this case, Mitch was buying calls and our community was too. So as price exits, you'll see that little candle there. Okay, this is the next day. All right, because 2 hour charts probably, the next day the market opens, come in. Okay, you're in your trade, and then these are our potential exit points above here, right? So this is the we call it the trigger, right? So price comes in, and then we're exiting right around that blue oval. Okay, and on our zooms we're constantly analyzing the market and giving details on how we're seeing things and so on and so forth. And we get great feedback from our students that are asking great questions, especially the last couple of months. It's just been participation, if you guys are watching, has been phenomenal. So there's that. Okay, and that's the confirmation entry. And Mitch had put here some potential notes to everybody. I'll let you guys read that, but being less predictable, opted to use more caution. Okay, so let me show you what the trade ultimately looked like when we exited. Okay, and you'll see basically right there. Okay, Mitch put his note there, all that kind of stuff. You see there, it hung out there for a little while, so it gave you some time to pull the trigger where we said. Notice there's the first candle, second, third, fourth. That's a couple hours right there for you to make your decision, ultimately get out. Actually turned to that Fibonacci number, which is always wonderful. So, was it an amazing trade? It was fine. I mean, let's see. We always put the results here. And if you check our Instagram, I post or our assistant post every trade from our community after the fact, so you can't get before the fact trades because you have to join our community for that. But after the fact, we post every win and every loss, right? So you'll see I think there's 2 losses from last couple of days. Let's say it's a little slower with the holiday here, but you'll see right on our Instagram. This in red, but in this case it's in green because it was a win, right? So we did pretty nicely on the trade, about $180 a contract. So we paid. Hold on, I'll tell you. Paid for the contract. $615 for the contract, and we sold it for $180. $180 profit, so $615 times just under $2. Okay, all right, so $180 per one contract. So you $615 in buying power. You made 180. Okay, if you had a couple of contracts, you made $900. Not too bad on 5 contracts. Okay, and then obviously what 2, 3, or whatever, you made a little bit. You did even better, but that's the story. I just wanted to share that element of like when you're getting those red days, but you have a long and you're a little cautious, like, well, is this going to hold? You never know the outcome of a trade. And once you're in it, and for me, I always tell my students, you're going to hear this is going to sound like a broken record if they're watching, right? Where once you're in a position, you hit your stop loss or it hits your take profit. Okay. But once you get into that's when you're in the trade. On your entry, you could always say, all right, this isn't for me. We're getting a huge down candle here. Maybe this is just a broad market sell off. Nothing's going to hold up, even something like Walmart. In this case, you could you can blend the two where I'm going to take the trade, but I'm going to let it come in, and then I'm going to let it show me a little preview of how it's going. Now, could you take a confirmation entry and it just completely turn the other way after it guzzers? Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. But to see what happens and get into the trade on, you pay an extra on an option, probably was only an extra like 25 cents. Not much. Let's put it that way. Oh yeah. So yeah, Mitch has 90.24 here. So you paid an extra 34 cents if you bought the stocks. That's not a whole lot in the option. I mean, it's $15, something like that. So, you sacrifice that. Will that add to your risk reward a little bit? Yeah, you're going to have to take that into account. But I just want to share this because this was a really good tactical element of using the confirmation entry. And it's something we communicate to our community here all the time. So I wanted to share that with you. You might find that useful, that little tactical element, incorporate that. Do you have to do it all the time? I don't really recommend doing it all the time. That's just me. Because you're going to, by the time you wait for confirmation, it just depends on how far you have to get to profit. You can wind up missing trades. It's something you just want to incorporate as a tool in your toolbox. Okay. So with that, let me sign off. And I just wanted to do a quick video. I want to try and keep this under 10 minutes. I hope you got a wonderful little tidbit of about how to use this. And then if you'd like more information about how we can help you trade like this or potentially join our community, why don't you go ahead, look below this video, and there will be a link to my calendar. Click that button. You'll see the days I'm available. Click the day, find a time that you're available, fill out some quick information, and we can have a Zoom call, and I'll talk to you a little bit about our trading style, what we provide, and the markets we trade, all that kind of good stuff. And then I will talk to you soon. Take care, guys.